Hey guys, it's Shawn. Thank you for being here. We want to talk today about, can your business shift quickly? Now, this is the type of thing that is super critical. We'll not only talk about indications and signs about whether your business can shift quickly, but we'll also give you some tips and tricks to help make your business more adaptable. This is a critically important skill as we work through this recovery, as things change, and as we potentially go now into a downturn. Many of us believe the recession has already started. As it continues, shifting your business will be important. Today's video is about whether you have the things in place in order to be able to shift your video quickly. As always, please stay tuned to the end where I'll bring it all together with some final thoughts and tips. So stick around. We'll have some great tips for you. And join me in the comments as always, because I do enjoy interacting with you and learning about what you're seeing, and also potential future topics from you guys. So comment as we go. Do not put anything confidential in the comments, please. While legal issues are discussed, this is not legal advice. Consult your legal advisor. Also, this is not financial or investment advice. First question: what systems do you have in place to be able to shift your business? Now, this may seem like a strange question or strange request, but do you have things in place in your business that allow you to shift or change your focus? Are your employees cross-trained? Are people able to move into new job functions? Are your systems set up in such a way that your business could start serving new customers and new products without a massive change or restructuring? So we want to start with the system side of things. Systems are always so important in any business. And we want to say, do you have the systems in place to not only make the change, but one step before that, to evaluate the change? Are you even watching the bigger market, right? Are you, your board, your advisory team, your employees, is everybody out there monitoring what's happening and watching where the market is, and then saying, okay, we're going to potentially as a team identify opportunities and then shift our business? Could you identify the shift? And if you saw the shift, would you be able to make the shift? That's where it starts, right? If you don't have the flexibility and ability in your business to do that, now's the time to start thinking about that. How do we build this business in such a way that we can change? And how do we get the competitive intelligence of what's going on in the marketplace? How are we talking to our customers to learn what they need next, bringing that information back and saying, can we serve that need at this business? So systems are always so important to everything. Do you have the systems for shifting? How locked in are you? Now, some businesses are very locked into a system and process. Maybe you have very specific manufacturing equipment. Maybe you have very specific training, software systems, structures in place that keep you locked in. Now is the time to be thinking about that. If we are going into a downturn and recession, and if the economy is continuing to evolve and change, what is that lock-in going to mean to you? We don't want you to be the next Blockbuster or Kodak, right? These are companies that locked in on things to great downturn and despair, right? They were great at what they did. They kept doing what they did, and the market went away from them. And we watched this, unfortunately, happen to other businesses. So we want to ask you, how locked in are you? And are you going to be able to keep doing what you're doing, or will you have to shift your business? And can you, based on the way your infrastructure is built, the way things are structured in your business, and the way your team is trained, can you shift? And are your team able to change? Do you have the training in change? Have you built that flexibility in? Have you gone to classes about being flexible and being nimble? Have you thought about building new skill sets? Are you cross-training? Do your team members know how to do multiple functions? Or are each of them just doing the things to get by in their current function and role without moving into new categories, new operations, or new things? So if you're going to be able to change this business and evolve this business, you and your team need to be able to change. And so you need to start thinking about, how can we get into an ability to shift? What training do we need? Do we need to bring in an outside consultant that can work with us on being more flexible, being more nimble? Can we get folks to do other people's job functions? Because here's the deal, folks. If you are too locked in, if you're too rigid, and the market changes, what do you think is going to happen? You and your employees are going to want to keep doing things the way you've always done things and keep hoping that it's going to work. But if the market keeps changing, the sales dollars are going to dry up, and you'll be left with many other businesses who did not adapt. Adaptation is key. We are in another time for pivot. We had a lot of pivoting in 2020, 2021. Now, here we get later in 2022. I bet we're going to see even more pivoting as the market moves forward. So, you and your team's ability to change is going to be absolutely critical. And then the next piece is, will you see the opportunities to change? And this isn't about awareness. This is about thoughts. This is about being in tune with the broader market. The broader market is going to change, right? The world is changing. The economy is changing. There is no changing the fact that it's changing. Now, that's going to affect some industries and some individuals differently. Now, will your business just have your head down, doing what you're doing, producing what you're producing? Or are you going to be getting on the radar and seeing what changes? This means having an active monitoring program. Are you and members of your leadership team reading about the market? Are you watching the market? Are you having conversations with your customers and vendors about what's happening? Are you going to conferences and events? Are you talking to other business owners outside of your industry about how they're improving their businesses? So what I want you to do is start thinking in terms of your business and how you're going to look at those opportunities to change. How are you going to identify those opportunities? Then how are you going to evaluate those opportunities? And how are you going to make a determination on whether it's worth making a change? A great way to do this is to get your board of directors or board of advisors, depending on how your company's structured and where you want to put this function, to be having regular meetings about what's happening in the world and the industry. And folks, things are happening so fast that I would recommend more frequent meetings. I would recommend regular meetings about where you are, where you're going, and what opportunities you're identifying, right? I would be talking about getting the team together maybe once a week to at least talk about preliminary ideas. And when bigger ideas come, you want to run that up the flagpole. But do you even have the systems in place to be monitoring? Everybody in a higher level position, in fact, everybody throughout the company, even lower level positions, should be reading and monitoring. And there should be a system where they can put input in on opportunities for change, new markets that are opening, new products, new services, things that you can bolt on to your existing core capabilities that will help you through the period of change. Everybody should be tuned into that. And then there should be a structure and process for evaluating those opportunities, right? They should flow into perhaps a weekly meeting where multiple members of your team evaluate whether these opportunities seem real, whether they're good opportunities, whether they're the type of opportunities you would follow up on. And then from there, you evaluate the ones that really need to get serious consideration from upper management, perhaps your board of directors, or maybe even your shareholders for implementation. So you need to be seeing the opportunities out there, right? As you're scanning the market, where are the opportunities? And as the opportunities come in, you evaluate them. And occasionally you're going to want to make the strategic decision to change your course to take advantage of the opportunities. But it all starts with knowing the opportunities are out there. If you miss the opportunity, you're not going to be able to capitalize on it. Folks, let's bring this all together here. Organizations need to both be flexible and adaptable and ready to change. But then we also need to know when and where to change. And what we really want to avoid is unnecessary change. A lot of businesses get lost in the process of unnecessary change. They're changing too fast. They're changing too much. They're losing their direction. They aren't consistent enough. You want to be consistent with your customers and your suppliers so they know who you are, so they understand your business, so they can bring you referrals, so they can come back for repeat business. But at the same time, you don't want to be so consistent that you miss the opportunities that this market is going to present us. And this market is going to present opportunities for many businesses because there will be so many changes and they're happening so fast. If you can watch those changes, identify those changes early, and then make the shifts when appropriate, again, not creating kind of the seasickness of changing too much, but being very strategic about the changes. If you can do all of that correctly, you may actually see your business grow during the downturn versus struggling. So it's very worthwhile. For many businesses, this attitude and this ability may be the difference between survival and struggle. But you got to have the right attitude. You got to build the systems and processes around it. If you have questions, let me know. Do join me in the comments. Don't put anything confidential in there, however, because YouTube is public. Other people will see your comments. Also, feel free to subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications if you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you think your friends would benefit from this video, please share it with them. All right, folks, Shawn signing off. See you soon.